All right, football fanatics, buckle up. Just when you thought the dust had settled from the last NFL draft, the cycle, in its relentless, beautiful, and sometimes maddening way, keeps spinning. We're not even to the current offseason, and already, we're peering way into the future, talking about the stars who might be making headlines in the 2026 NFL Draft. I know, it seems insane to look that far ahead, right? But for NFL teams, the scouting never stops. The planning is perpetual, and the potential stars of tomorrow are already making noise on college campuses today. So, are you ready to squint your eyes and try to make out the shapes of the future? Because a prominent voice in the draft world has just dropped his early look at 2026, and includes projection for your San Francisco 49ers that might raise an eyebrow or two. CBS Sports' Ryan Wilson, a guy who lives and breathes draft analysis, has unveiled his initial mock draft for the 2026 class. Now, Wilson himself is quick to point out that calling this a definitive mock draft might be a bit premature. He describes it more accurately as a college football watch list, a collection of 33 names that he believes have the potential to be first-round talents come April 2026. He's taken a deliberate approach this offseason, spending extra time getting familiar with the potential top prospects, understanding that projecting 2 years out is less about predicting exact landing spots and more about identifying the elite talent pool. As he puts it, consider this a watch list. If you want, or if you prefer, it can be a mock draft. Ultimately, it's 33 names to get familiar with, about 2.5 months away from college football returning. It's a nod to the fluid nature of draft projections this far out, but it still gives us a fascinating glimpse into who the top players might be and, based on projected team needs, where they could land. So, how did Wilson determine the draft order for the super early look? He used projected Super Bowl odds for the upcoming season. It's a common method for way too early mocks, providing a theoretical framework based on how the league is currently perceived. And based on those odds, where do our beloved San Francisco 49ers land in this hypothetical 2026 draft order? Wilson projects the Niners to hold the 22nd overall pick. Okay, 22nd overall. A pick in the back half of the first round, which, if it holds true, would suggest the 49ers had a pretty successful 2025 season, perhaps even making another deep playoff run. Not exactly a position where you're guaranteed a generational, can't-miss prospect, but certainly high enough to land an impact player. And with that 22nd pick, according to Ryan Wilson's crystal ball, or rather his watch list, the San Francisco 49ers are projected to address their secondary by drafting cornerback Germain McCoy out of the University of Tennessee. Jermod McCoy, a name you might not know intimately yet, but one that draft analysts are already buzzing about. Wilson describes him as a physically gifted cornerback, capable of playing both man-to-man coverage and feeling comfortable in zone schemes. He highlights McCoy's consistent ability to stay in phase on vertical routes, which is absolutely crucial in today's pass-happy NFL, especially against teams with big, fast receivers. Furthermore, Wilson notes that McCoy isn't afraid to get involved in the run game, stating he comes downhill with determination, looking to strike through someone. And perhaps most intriguingly, Wilson suggests McCoy might be the best defensive back in the class against comeback routes, a specific route that requires excellent change of direction skills and timing. At 6 feet 3 inches and 183 pounds, McCoy possesses a kind of length and frame that NFL teams covet on the boundary. So, why a quarterback for the 49ers at pick 22 in 2026? Let's look at the current situation. Pro Football Focus recently projected the 49ers' top 3 cornerbacks for the upcoming 2025 season to be Deommodore Lenoir, Renardo Green, and Trey Brown. That's a solid group, no doubt. Lenoir has established himself as a reliable starter. Green showed promise as a rookie, and Brown provides speed and playmaking ability. However, the NFL is a league that demands depth and constant replenishment at the cornerback position. Corners take a beating, injuries happen, and having multiple talented players capable of stepping up is essential for a championship contender. Using a high draft pick to add a physically gifted rookie like McCoy to that mix in 2026 seems entirely plausible. It would create fierce competition, provide valuable depth, and potentially give them a future shutdown corner as the current guys potentially enter contract years or age out. From that perspective, The pick makes sense. Reinforcing the secondary is never a bad idea in a division with explosive offenses and talented quarterbacks. But here's where the potential eyebrow-raising comes in. While cornerback is a position of importance, many 49ers faithful would argue that another position group remains a more pressing long-term concern: the offensive line. The offensive line has been a point of discussion and sometimes frustration for the 49ers for several seasons now. Despite the team's overall success, the protection for quarterback and the consistency in the run blocking have, at times, left something to be desired. The 49ers didn't completely overhaul the offensive line during the 2025 NFL Draft or free agency period. While they made some additions and presumably feel confident in the group they have assembled for the upcoming season, the performance of that unit in 2025 could ultimately dictate the team's draft priorities in 2026. If the offensive line struggles again, if they can't consistently open holes to the running game or provide adequate time for the quarterback, then addressing that unit with a premium draft pick might become an absolute necessity, even over adding another talented cornerback. A weak offensive line can cripple an offense, regardless of how much talent you have at the skill positions. It impacts the passing game by forcing quick throws and leading to sacks, and it stifles the running game, which is a cornerstone of the 49ers' identity under Kyle Shanahan. So, while adding a potential star corner like Germain McCoy is exciting, the lingering questions about the offensive line's long-term stability could very well push that need at the top of the draft board by the time 2026 rolls around. Let's learn a little more about Jermod McCoy himself. As mentioned, he's a physically impressive player. He transferred to Tennessee after starting his college career at Oregon State, and he made an immediate impact for the Volunteers in 2024. According to Sports Reference, in 13 games last season, McCoy racked up 44 total tackles, hauled in 4 interceptions, that's serious ball hawking ability, defended 9 passes, and registered 1 tackle for loss. Those are impressive numbers for a cornerback in a major college conference. For interceptions and 9 pass breakups show he's consistently around the ball and has the instincts and athleticism to make plays. His size, 6 feet 3 inches, is a major asset against bigger receivers, and his ability to stay in phase on vertical routes suggests he has the speed and technique to run with NFL-caliber pass catchers. He's absolutely a player to keep a close eye on as the 2025 college football season gets underway. His performance this coming year will be crucial in solidifying his draft stock for 2026. So, what does this early 2026 mock draft tell us? It tells us that the scouting world is already identifying potential stars for the future, and Germain McCoy is clearly on that radar as a top cornerback prospect. It suggests that the 49ers, even if their current cornerback room is solid, could look to add more talent and depth at the position in the coming years. But perhaps most importantly, it serves as a reminder that roster building is a dynamic, ongoing process. While a cornerback like McCoy fits a potential need, the unresolved questions surrounding the offensive line could easily shift the team's priorities by the time the 2026 draft arrives. It highlights the constant strategic dance NFL front offices play, balancing immediate needs with long-term vision, and try and predict how positions of strength and weakness will evolve over time. It's early, really early, but it's a fascinating look ahead and a chance to get familiar with a name that could be a key target for the 49ers down the line. Will Germain McCoy ultimately land in San Francisco? Only time will tell. But the conversation about needs, priorities, and the future of the roster starts now. All right, Niners faithful and football fans everywhere, what do you make of this early look at 2026? Do you think cornerback is a position the 49ers must address early in that draft? Or are you more concerned about the offensive line and think that should be the priority? Let me know your thoughts, your predictions, and who you would want the 49ers to target in the comments section below. Your insights are what make this community great. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the future of the NFL draft and the 49ers' potential plans, please show us some love by hitting that like button. It helps us know we're on the right track and keeps us motivated to bring you more exclusive analysis. Don't miss our next report. Make sure you're subscribed and have notifications turned on. Until then, keep the faith and enjoy the never-ending NFL calendar.